Hi there, in this video we're going to talk about similar versus congruent figures. So let's go ahead and define similar and congruent. So the word similar in geometry has a very specific meaning, as does congruent. Congruent figures have the same shape and they are also the same size. So if I look at these two triangles, they have the same side lengths. This length is equal to this length is equal to this length, and their angles are the same as well. All the sides and all of the angles are congruent. For similar figures, they have to be the same shape. So these are both triangles, they're both equilateral triangles, but they can be different sizes as long as they are proportional. So if this length was 1, this length would have to be double that, 2. If this length was 3, this would have to be double that, 6. So our side lengths are proportional, and it doesn't always have to be double. It could be triple or quadruple. So this could be 1, for example, this could be 1 and this could be 4, but that means this would also be 1 and this would be 4. So all of the sides are proportional. If two shapes are congruent, they are also similar, because they are still the same shape. And this word, they can be different sizes, that means they don't have to be. So if I look at this example right here, I can see that this length is 130, and this length is 130, and this length is 100, and this length is 100, which means this shape is congruent. They're the same size, but it's also similar. Okay. Similar shapes can also be, the same size. As compared to this shape, if I typed in my calculator 130 divided by 195, so 130, 195, and comparing those two sides, that will equal 100 divided by 150. So these two side lengths are proportional. They're the same shape. They have the same angles, but our side lengths are just all elongated the same amount. So we would say this is just similar. We would not say that it's congruent. So let's look at a few examples. So in example number 1, we have these two circles. So these two circles are similar, yes, because they are the same shape. Now, are they the same size? No. If I look at the T, they are not the same size and shape, but they are the similar T shape. And if I look at the side length, this is 2 and this is 4. This is 1 and this is 2. The length is doubling, timesing by 2, the length is doubling, timesing by 2. This length is 4, this length is 3, this length is 6. So it doubled again. So yes, these shapes are similar. Now if I look down at this picture, they're not congruent because they are not exactly the same shape and the same size, but they're also not similar, because if I go from this shape to this shape, this is 2 and this is 1. So if this is 2, this should also be 1 and it's 4. So this is no, it's not similar. Now my last shape, I have congruent. So that's 2 and 2, that's 4 and 4, that's the same length, that's the same length. So yes, they're congruent, but because they're congruent, that means they're also similar. They're the same shape. Okay, they're not different sizes, but similar shapes do not have to be different sizes. So note to self, similar does not have to be a different size. So if you mark something as congruent, you're also going to mark it as similar. Let's look at another example. So if I look at these little t's right here, I can see 1, 1, 1, 1. So these two shapes are congruent. So remember what we just said. If two shapes are congruent, yes, they are also similar. Now, are these two squares congruent? No. But if I look at their side lengths, they are proportional. So yes, they are similar. On this next one, if I look at my two triangles, they're both triangles, but they don't have the same dimensions. This one's like a skinny triangle. This one's a little stouter of a triangle. So no, they're not congruent because they're not exactly the same and they're not proportional. So if since this length is 1 and this is 2, since this is 3, this should be 6 in order to be proportional, and it's not. So no. Now on this last one, two shapes congruent, and they are not exactly the same size and shape, And are they similar? Well, no, because remember, similar just means an expanded version. If my radius is 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 in all directions, it should be the same. It's 1 in that direction, but 3 and 1. So, no, not a circle. They're not similar. All right, that is it for this intro to similar versus congruent lesson. If you have any questions, please reach out and have a great day.